Welcome to the Inc. Productivity Tip of the Day. Today's tip is actually 6 tips to inspire and motivate your team. An expert opinion by Howard Tullman, General Managing Partner, G2T3V, and Chicago High-Tech Investors. In most of the successful turnarounds I've led over the years, one of my first steps was to distribute to the entire company a manifesto that outlined the fundamental ideas and strategies around change management that I had developed and adopted over several decades. Typically, it was 8 to 10 pages long and had around 20 sections, addressing various issues and concerns. When you step into a new leadership position, it's absolutely critical that you communicate consistently and constantly your approach, objectives, and philosophy to the entire team. While the comments and concepts contained in my manifesto weren't written in stone, I was always amazed at how little change needed to be made in the basic document, regardless of the business or the industry I was dealing with at the time, and regardless of how much time had passed since that document was first written. I've also had an opportunity over the last 12 years of writing my weekly Inc. column to expand on and explore almost every one of these bullet points in more detail. But I believe that you never stop learning, especially if you pay attention, that you never know who's going to teach you something new and important. And that iteration with an eye toward constant improvement, successive approximation rather than postponed perfection, is the ultimate key to success in any endeavor. Getting a little better every day is the goal. As Mark Cuban likes to say, perfectionism is the enemy of profitability. I like to revisit one of my earliest columns, what I learned from my waitress, once or twice a year to help keep me honest. And I continue to recommend it to new business builders and experienced entrepreneurs as well on a regular basis. Getting a few important things right is the name of the game. Trying to do too many things and spreading yourself a mile wide and an inch deep is a formula for failure. So I was interested and intrigued when Anton Marchanka, the new CEO for Zing Coach, an AI-powered fitness app that's been around since 2021, with about 200,000 paid subscribers, reached out to me to explain how he's planning to turbocharge his business, build new momentum, and take it to the next level. He says that great startups don't run like big businesses. They operate like swift pirate ships, fast, fluid, and flexible. And he offered his 6 most important tips for talking to the team. Here's what I took away from his list. Start with a story. Forget the spreadsheets, strategies, and lengthy pitch decks. Tell a simple story that the whole team can understand, buy into, and get aggressively behind. Fill the boat with believers. Or as he says, turn strangers into shipmates. Startups are leaky. Make sure you're honest about the risks of the venture and the odds of success and fairness to the people you're asking to come aboard. There are no guarantees other than that you and everyone else will be working their asses off to try to get it done or die trying. You want people who commit to the journey and not simply to some imagined and hoped-for destination. Your story should sound somewhat scary. You can't steal second base with one foot on first. It's a big challenge, a big ask, and a leap of faith to join a team that's trying to disrupt the current ways of doing things and invent the future. Not for the faint of heart. Big risks are the only things that generate big rewards. Your story should be convincing, but not complete. No one has a crystal ball or can predict the future, but the best entrepreneurs know that the main job is to steer a steady course forward through rough seas. Unforeseen obstacles, and constant changes in the circumstances, the marketplace, and the competition. No battle plan ever survives the first contact with the opposition. If you find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. You've got to sell your story to the team. Leaders are great salesmen and storytellers, and the first thing they've got to sell is themselves. Let them know that you've been through this before and you know how it ends. Every emotion in a startup is contagious. Confidence, commitment, and also concern. You've got to convince the team that you've got what it takes to get the job done. Keep your own head up at all times. Perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. The journey's as important as the end result. Anyone who knows how hard, painful, and uncertain it is to try to build a new business knows that no one with any experience does it just for the promised pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's the shared experience, the endless blood, sweat, and tears, and the lifelong bonds and attachments you form along the way with your peers that make the journey so important and worthwhile regardless of the outcome. As you progress and face the uncertainty and the challenges together, you realize that you need each other. It's good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters, in the end. The bottom line is there's no magic set of words or phrases, no single solution for all circumstances. But one thing's absolutely certain: if you don't make the effort to tell your story to your people, your investors, and your customers, your ship will be sunk shortly after you've set sail. That's it from Inc. today, but you can find more tips and expert advice from today's business and thought leaders at Inc.com. And be sure to check back tomorrow for another tip from Inc.